What would you like?
I heard you could use a helping hand at the forge.
I could. My last two hands, well, they're not worth mentioning. And what with the wedding coming up, the work is piling up. What do they call you?
Henry.
You should know, Henry. The blacksmithing isn't for everyone. Have you done it before?
Yeah. I basically grew up in the forge. My father was a swordsmith, and not just any. He even forged swords for the nobility.
For the nobility, eh? Well, that kind of experience will come in very handy for me indeed. As it happens, I have to forge a wedding present for young Lord Semine. A fine sword.
So you'll take me on?
Hold your horses. I'll have to try you out first. You could forge me a hunting sword as a test, so I can see if you can make a straight blade. That shouldn't give you much trouble if your father was a swordsmith, should it?
Sure thing. I can get started right away.
Great. Find some iron and get started then.
Iron?
You can't make a sword out of butter, but if you don't have your own stuff, you can get everything from the chest in my forge. Ah, you fucking piece of shit. Furnace is cold now. Give it a practice try. Some things, like swords, are too long to fit in the fire. You have to heat it up bit by bit. Try poking it around for a bit. Right, let's have a look. Very nice work. Your father taught you the trade well.
He'd certainly be happy to hear that.
If you carry on hammering as well as you did today, you've definitely got a job here. Even so, keep in mind, it's all about making sure every strike does its job. That's why you can't let it get cold, or keep striking the same spot. If you work evenly, each strike falling right next to the last one, you can't go wrong. Got that? Or is there something else you want to ask about?
What good does it do me to whistle while I work?
It makes you work to a rhythm. You won't get tired so quickly, and the iron feels it.
How do I know a good strike from a bad one?
By the sparks that fly up. And by the ring. It rings out with a different sound when you do it right.
What's the right way to heat up the workpiece?
Do it till it turns the color of straw. Ideally, the color should be the same everywhere. If your forging's going to be even, the main thing is, don't work it cold. You just ruin it. But don't overheat it either. As soon as sparks start to fly off it in the furnace, take it out.
Why should I forge evenly?
If you keep hammering the same spot, you'll never finish it. You'll just fuck it up. But jumping from one end to the other ain't a good idea neither. You'd end up working unevenly. The best thing to do is aim each strike next to the one before.
How will I know it's finished?
Notice the shape. The closer you are to finishing, the more precise the shape it will have.
Thanks. That's all I need to know.
You can sleep in the chamber by the woodshed. And there's a chest where you can keep your things. And of course, you can use the forge anytime you want. Any questions?
Where can I get materials?
You can buy some essentials from me. But if you want to make a fancy sword with lots of ornamentation, you'll have to look elsewhere. This is just a village, you know. The locals ain't after luxury. And they can't afford it neither.
What can I do with the items I've forged?
Well, you can sell them. Though you probably won't have much luck around here. But I'll happily buy some of the nicer things from you.
Where exactly is my bed?
At the side of the house. There are 2 doors and a wheelbarrow between, and you can put...
What now?
What do you think? You're not going to be idle. I'll find you some work to do right away. You're pretty good at swords, but what the locals really need is axes and horseshoes. Right. Here are some simple drawings that show what they're both supposed to look like. And some iron. You can get down to it right away.
Just like that? You aren't going to help me?
Sacre, lad. I chose you because you already know a thing or two. I'm not going to look over your shoulder all bloody day. You take care of these smaller jobs. Forge away as long as you're able, and then sell it all. Once you've made some coin and feel like being out in the open again, I'll give you...
I haven't been fornicating. I've just been loving my neighbour.
Hey! You alright there, laddie?
Oh, you should have seen him. He went as late as a cardinal's hat. Aye. Hey, servant, bring some wine.
Me? I'm not a servant.
Oh, I know. Old Samine is saving supplies for the wedding later. But you didn't need to bother your wee head about that.
Look, I'm not from here.
Oh. I didn't give a fuck where you're from. You speak our language, do you not?
Well, Yarko, seems to me this fella doesn't know how to behave toward his betters.
The old man's hired hands are lacking in manners. We'll soon fix that. I'll... Filthy Come on. Oh, you wee
What
bastard!
in the devil's name is fucking going on here?
What do you think's going on, Grandad? I'm teaching your people here how we do things.
Grandad?
Why, Grandad? An old captain like you probably still remember the flood.
True enough, Yurko. I am old. And I remember all sorts of things. Like you. When you were a little nipper running around here bare arse, with a ribbon in your hair, screaming out how you was Princess Sophie. Poor lad, hadn't a moment's peace from his big sisters.
What about that wine?
Who in God's name are you?
Henry. The Takoff blacksmith sent me. Radovan.
Blacksmith, eh? Then you'll have some explaining to do. Come along and never mind that fool Yurko. Young Samin's getting married, so we has to put up with his kin from Moravia.
We'll be needing a dozen geese. And I must tell Vashek to get 3 pigs ready for slaughter. And the carters will have to be sent to Yetchin to get at least a peck of poppy seed for cakes. And gingerbread spices. Oh, and wine, too. It's almost all gone, what we bought only last week.
Enter!
Sorry to intrude, sir. This is Henry, blacksmith Radovan's hand.
Oh, excellent. Dorothy, leave us now. Just make sure that there's plenty of everything so long as it doesn't cost too much.
But, sir...
Not another word! Leave us! So Radovan sent you alone. Who's going to unload it all? It's a whole cartload.
Yeah, Radovan sent me, sir, but not with the goods. The thing is, he's missing his cart, along with the carter in his hands.
What? But they never came here. Are you telling me they got lost?
Well, I couldn't tell you what happened to them, sir, but it's my job to find them.
There are all sorts of vermin roaming the countryside.
Oh, no
so-
need to imagine the worst right off, gnarly. Anyway, I need the load from that cart, so saddle up your old nag and we'll ride out, Captain. I could do with a breath of fresh air. I've had it up to the eyeballs with counting geese and pies.
What about Henry here, sir?
Well, what about him?
We could use an extra pair of hands. You know how my shoulder's acting up. Yuriko is shit-faced. And your son...
The older has work to do. All right, take Henry with you if you want. Just so long as he doesn't slow us down.
Thank you, sir. So, lad, you going with us? I hope you're happy about it.
Yeah. I'll be glad to help you.
Oh, you reckon we can't manage on our own?
No. That's not how I meant it.
Take it easy, son. I'm only yanking your pizzle. By the way, the fellas at the gate say you came here on foot.
Yeah, I did.
Christ above! And how are you going to ride with us? On the back of my saddle? You're a bit big for that, ain't ya? And I'm a bit too old.
You've got a stud farm here, don't you? Couldn't I borrow one of your horses?
Aye. And then we'd never see hide nor hair of you, nor the animal again. We don't lend horses. But you're in luck. Our groom brought in a grey nag not long ago. Tell him you've got to ride out with us, and he'll give it to you for a decent price.
All right. Thanks.
Well, that should be that. Unless you've got any more questions.
No, that's all. But we should get going.
My thoughts exactly. Off to the courtyard, then. Careful.
It happens. Just watch where you're going next time.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
I'd like to go and see that wedding.
Wouldn't we all, lad? And what would you do there?
Well, I heard Lord von Berghoff will be at the wedding, and I need to speak with him.
Son, I don't know if you're serious or yanking my pizzle. Anyways, you're Radovan's hand, ain't ya? He'll be coming to the wedding. He's making a wedding gift for the groom. Stick with him, and maybe he'll take you with him.
This Yurko and his...
They're Lord Samin's kin.
Only they're from Moravia.
But what can I tell you, lad? Each to himself.
I'll get going then. I'm ready to set out, Captain.
Great. Now stick close to us, lad, and don't go wandering off.
All right, Captain.
Where will we start searching, sir?
If they drove out of Tarkov and headed towards us, they had to pass through Troskovitz.
Right, sir. You keep up with us, son. Troskovitz ain't far, but it seems there's fellas vanishing on the way.
Very good, Captain.
What do you think about it, Captain?
I know you told me not to jump to any conclusions, sir, but I can't help myself. Someone's running rampant around here, sir.
I know who's running rampant. Yurko in the cellar. We're out of wine again. I knew this wedding wouldn't be cheap, but I'm bleeding like a stuck pig. And the bailiff, the bride's father, you'd get more blood out of a stone than coin out of him. And then he behaves like I shit golden eggs just because I'm a noble. Even though he's got more coin than me.
Such are the times, sir. But that Yurko, he's going too far.
You know how those Moravians are. It's in his blood.
Aye, I noticed. But they're getting too much to handle. Him and his cronies. They started on young Henry, soon as he set foot on the courtyard.
What? Is that true, Henry?
It was nothing. Just a bit of a friendly brawl. They clearly had a skinful. I can understand it.
Well, I've sure as hell got no understanding for it. I hope they didn't hurt you.
Young Henry here gave Yurko a nice hammering.
Oh, that's no surprise. The fella can hardly stand upright most of the time.
You'd have to get up early to catch them sober. But they wasn't that drunk as to give Henry an easy fight.
Look here, lad. If you're such a champion, I'm sure you'd accept the challenge of an old man like myself.
It would be an honor, sir.
Excellent. Not afraid, eh? That's what I like to see. There's an abandoned pen along the path a bit. We'll stop off there and see what you're made of.
All right, sir. If you'll excuse me, I'll explain some things to the youngster here first. Wouldn't want no accidents happening.
So, we're here. Gnarly, tell the youngster here what's what.
All right, son. You're going to fight Lord Sameen. It'll be an honorable fight, so you better act accordingly. Hold on a mo. I'll give you some gear for it.
What weapon will you give me?
What would you like?
Sword?
Don't get ahead of yourself, laddie. A sword belongs in noble hands. You can have my cudgel. It might be just a stick, but it's my stick, so careful with it.
Thank you, Captain.
Save the thanks, and get your arse into the pen.
You're no match for me!
You never saw that coming!
What do you say, son?
You really gave me the runaround.
I'm no spring chicken, but I'm as spry as ever.
That's true. And you handled this too, sir. Anyways, you can keep that old junk, Henry. Even my cudgel. But take care of the old fella. He might be just a piece of wood, but he saved my arse more than once.
I will, Captain.
Jesus Christ be praised. I needed that. It's good to stretch the limbs every now and again. Don't worry about losing, lad. You've got some talent, I can tell. You should come to the courtyard and Gnarly here will give you a good education in the art of the sword.
I call it the art of not getting skewered as soon as you step foot outside the village. But do come, Henry. We've got a nice arena in Sameen. It ain't no abandoned pig pen.
You can't always choose your battleground, Gnarly. Whether it's a pig pen or an arena in Karlstein, it's the performance that counts. And while we're on the subject, where are you from, lad? It's clear you're not from Trotsky.
I'm from Silver Scallops, sir.
Aha! Now I understand why you're here. You're not the first one to flee here from the war.
I don't flee from a fight, sir. I have work here, and a lot of scores to settle.
You want to get revenge for what happened back home? That usually doesn't end well. You'd be better advised to find yourself a well-built girl. build a cottage, and visit the church and the tavern in turn. There's no helping the dead anyway.
That's nice advice, sir. Only women will tie you down, lad. Better to go and see a bit of the world. You're doing the right thing. So, we're in Troskovitz. What now, sir? Should I go to the bailiff and ask if he might have seen someone?
Well, that makes sense. But the young fella here should do it. If the bailiff sees you, he'll guess I'm in the village and come and bother me. And I'm really not in the mood today for any bombardment of complaints.
I understand, sir. All right, Henry. Run along to the rat house and inquire about that wagon.
And Henry, not a word about me. Are we clear?
About who? Since you're not here, how could I speak of you?
That's what I like to hear. Now run along.
Master Bailiff, can I ask you about something?
Ask away, by all means. Wait now, aren't you that lad who's helping Radovan in the forge?
Yeah, that's me.
I heard his hired hands went missing.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm here.
Ah, I was thinking they were driving awful fast with that cart.
You saw them?
I did, a few days back. They raced through the village in the early evening so fast, they were dropping sacks of charcoal.
Where were they headed?
Towards the east, to Apollonia on the road to Yichin. And you're looking for them?
I am indeed.
I'm glad to hear it. I heard there were goods for Semin on that cart, and I can do without that kind of trouble now, on account of the wedding, you know?
It seems you have a lot of concerns with that wedding, Master Bailiff.
Of course I do. I'm the father of the bride, after all. Although not everyone sees eye to eye with me. Lord Semin would be happier if I paid all the bills and left all the decisions up to him. Who's invited, what there'll be to eat and drink, entertainment, everything. It's not like I have a burning desire to deal with it, but if I'm going to pay for it...
I understand. But isn't it just that the groom's family is more concerned about these things?
That's not it. I'll tell you what it is. It's because Lord Semin is a noble and I'm just a commoner. Only I've got coin. While he's trying to keep the wolf from the door in that piddling estate of his.
You're right, Master Bailiff. Don't worry, though. People will find out you spared no expense for your daughter's wedding.
Let's hope. More like that old miser will go around saying the opposite and put me to shame.
I don't think Lord Semin would do that. Do you know anything about Radovan's hired hands?
Only what I've told you. But to tell you the truth, I wouldn't mind if they never turned up again.
Why's that?
Well, they might look like butter wouldn't melt in their mouths, and Radovan praises them, but I know people. That pair have mischief in their eyes. I can tell.
That'll be all. Thanks.
Well then, young man, how did it go?
I didn't say a word about you, sir.
There's a good lad. And what about the cart?
They were spotted here, sir. Going to the east, towards Apollonia.
So to Yichin? The bastards! And what about my goods?
Oh, they were driving so fast, it was falling off the cart.
The thieving scum! Let's hurry! To Yichin!
Sir, I could send a message to the Yichin captain of the guard.
Oh, it'll take too long. We'll go and get them ourselves.
Won't you be missing preparations for the wedding at home, sir?
I will. Praise Lord Jesus Christ. If I have to choose between... listening to Dorothy's endless fussing, I'll take Yitchin any time. Besides, there's a nice inn along the way, the Three Cats. We can spend the night there.
I remember that place, but I'm not sure, sir, if they'll let the two of us set foot inside the door.
Oh, gnarly, that was 15 summers ago.
Anyone seen
God
romance?
knows if the place is even still standing.
True. Still,
Excuse me?
we'd better keep our eyes peeled. They might not have gone to
Hey,
Eugene.
romance!
They could have turned off somewhere. Or something could have happened. They might have been ambushed, maybe.
Will you give over with that? I'll bet my braves they weren't ambushed. More likely we'll find them boozing at the Three Cats.
That'd surely be the best outcome, if that old dive is still standing. Let's go, then. So, St. Anthony, which way now?
While you're praying to the patron saint of lost things, go and have a look along the road, Gnarly. And you, Henry, have a look to the left.
All right, sir. But don't forget, my eyesight ain't what it used to be.
Well, that's what we have the youngster for, isn't it? Off you go. You found anything, lad?
Not yet. Have you seen a young girl?
Young girls don't... And why... It was good to see you, my friend.
Did you see a cart drive through here by any chance?
All the time, friend, from Troskovich to Yitchin and back. Sometimes even a slow cart with a dead body.
I'm looking for a cart loaded with goods from the blacksmith. Probably moving fast.
Now that you mention it, I do recall something of the like. They even dropped a sack of charcoal. When you go out of the cemetery onto the road, you should see it right there on the right-hand side.
Farewell, my friend.
You found anything, lad?
Not yet.
What brings you here?
I'm Henry. And you must be the local gravedigger, right?
Ignatius, master of the sod. Looking for a final resting place, or do you need to bury a dead goat?
I'm more interested in the grave digging profession.
Ah, once you try it, you'll never want to do nothing else till the day you die.
Farewell.
A sack of charcoal? That could have fallen off the cart.
We're getting close. I can feel it in my bones, sir. You'll have the cart back in no time.
I just hope we find the horses, too. Yarmilka here ain't the youngest, and I wouldn't want to drag it back home myself.
A nobleman in harness. We ain't ever had such a spectacle in these parts.
You might get to see it soon enough. The lords in this country have all gone to the dogs. Every lowborn with a bit of coin builds a house in Kuttenberg, while we live in squalor. Why do you reckon that is, lad?
Now, that's a tough question, sir. But nothing happens on God's green earth without his will. If that's the way God wants it, there's nothing you can do.
None of this would be happening if we had a king. And I mean a real one. Not Wenceslas or Sigismund. Oh, anywhere that's not ruled by a strong hand, all sorts of things go wrong.
Especially when you've got Moravian relatives eating you out of house and home.
Oh, hold up. This is strange. I don't see any cart tracks. What do you reckon, Gnarly?
I'm blind as a mole, sir. But it's all peculiar, right enough. Where the hell could that cart have vanished to?
Well, that's just it. They had nowhere to turn off.
I'll look up the road a bit. And you, Henry, have a look back along the road. Maybe it fell in a ditch somewhere. Who knows?
Very well, sir.
Well then, did you find anything?
Nothing.
Yeah. Till we meet again. Well then, did you find anything?
Nothing but sticks and trees.
Yeah. What else would there be? All right, we'll see if Gnarly's had more luck. Till we meet again.
The blacksmith's cart. And someone went to a hell of a lot of trouble to hide it from the
Careful.
road.
Hey! I found the blacksmith's cart! Come here!
Well, now, here we have it. The blacksmith's cart.
Someone went to a lot of trouble to hide it from the road.
Yeah. Of course, the goods are gone. The bastards hauled it off to the rocks. That's clear. Well, we can't let them get away with it. We'll carry on, but on foot. My old young milker would only break a leg there. And keep a sharp lookout. Something stinks here.
I told you, they got ambushed by them bastards that's on the rampage around here, sir.
Oh, be quiet. We still can't be sure of anything.
Ah, Apollonia. I spent a lot of time running around here as a young lad.
Oh, not me. This place always gave me the shivers.
God's truth, I ain't got only good memories of it. One time, got my leg stuck in a crevice a bit further on. Trapped there all night I was, shitting myself with fear. It wasn't till morning that the folk from the fortress found me. The whole of Sameen was out looking for me.
See, at least you came here as a kid. It still gives me the creeps here.
Why's that, sir? It's just some rocks, ain't it?
You'd sing a different tune if you'd had the rope maker's wife as a nanny when you were little. Now, she had some tales about this place. Headless horsemen, goblins and white ladies. Every night, we'd gather by the hearth. The old woman would sit at her spinning wheel telling stories. I'll tell you, Captain, there isn't much I'm afraid of. But when that blind old crone was croaking her tales of devils and holes to hell, with the fire crackling and the wind whistling outside the windows, and the whirring of the spinning wheel... Oh, shh. Wait a moment. Do you hear that?
I do. There's somebody there, sure enough.
Let's get closer. What do we do now? I heard more than two voices.
I used to clamber around here as a young lad. The girls from Slattergo used to come make a fire here and jump over it. And so's their underwear wouldn't catch fire. Sometimes they'd take it off.
That's nice, Gnarly, but I don't think it's scantily clad maidens we'll be running into here. So what's that got to do with anything?
Well, There's a nice view into the gorge from up there. We only have to go back a bit, and we can get up there nicely.
Right. Henry, what are you waiting for? This is just the kind of thing we took you along for.
Sure, sir. With a bit of luck, there might be some girls there too.
I could do without girls with voices like that. Now get going.
Tell him I'm not having him on. You saw it too. True. He ain't yanking your pizzle. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. She had one different than the other.
All right. But that ain't normal. Everyone must be laughing at the wench.
Why? Some people might like it.
I don't know who'd like that.
Did they do something? What? You imagine they do? Light up in the dark. Leave him be, Hunter. You're right. They did something. They rolled around and gave off sparks.
Aye, sparks. You two are arseholes. I'd have nothing to do with a wench like that. It ain't right having a pair like that.
Those definitely
She
aren't the
might be
blacksmith's
hexed,
hands.
or maybe a witch.
You see hexes everywhere.
So how's it look, Sonny? How many?
I saw 3. And they don't look like Radovan's hands.
And what about my goods?
I didn't see them. It looked more like a patrol. I reckon there might be more of them hereabouts.
Seems we can't avoid a fight. I hope you're ready, Henry.
Sure am, sir.
Just watch and don't get your arse kicked like during training. So, how are we gonna do it? Do you just want to charge them, sir?
What else do you suggest?
Someone could go back up top and try to take one of them down with an arrow before we charge them. There's a good view of the camp from up there.
Good idea, Henry. And I see you're equipped for it too. Climb up top, and as soon as you shoot the first time, we'll charge them. And make sure you don't hit one of us.
Right you are, Captain.
Away from the tavern. You two don't know the truth of an hole in the ground. Stumbled with a priest. He showed me all these pictures and taught me a lot. I stumble with a priest. Pigs can fly, and Gul's name is really something.
For a wench, he's got a miserable pair of tits on him.
Oh, you're gonna die!
We'll finish this quickly. You're done for. Done for!
Good! I still can't quite do that.
Jesus! I'm hit!
Take that!
You'll be sorry, fucker!
Your ass off!
Is that the best you can do?
You won't get me, pray, you bastard.
Oh, this day took it out of me, and no mistake.
And it ain't over yet, sir. Your goods ain't here. And none of them bastards look like the blacksmith's hands. Am I right, Henry?
Well, we can't ask them now.
Oh, well. That's how it goes sometimes.
But I don't think it was them.
Me neither. But right past that peak is another good camping spot.
You think this was a patrol?
It makes sense. But I don't want to go assuming the worst. We might have just run into them bandits by chance.
Yeah, well, you were right, as always. Let's go, then. Are you ready, Henry?
Shouldn't we send for reinforcements?
Who would we send for? By the time we return, the bastards will be gone along with my goods.
Don't worry, lad. This scum is no match for us.
I am. Let's go.
I thought we had everything clear.
Venser, you tried to fuck with me, so until we ride out, you're gonna stick right there and keep your mouth shut.
We did everything you asked. We got the blacksmith cart and the goods.
Horse shit. You tried to fuck me. That bastard cousin of yours owned up to it.
It was his idea. I wanted nothing to do with it.
Make no difference to me, Venser. You vouched for the crooked fucker. So now, it's on you. Actually, you could consider yourself lucky. If you hadn't saved my ass that time in Colleen, I'd have goat ear skin you alive.
Bastards. You can't trust anyone in these parts. Get ready, Gnarly. We are going to parley.
Like that time with the Shani, sir?
Yes, exactly.
Only there was more of us that time, and less of them.
Oh, don't worry, there won't be a problem. They're just common thieves. Besides, I'll take young Henry with me.
What, me?
And if they're still feeling brave, you get to try out that new plaything of yours. Ahem, gentlemen. I'm obliged to you for looking after my goods, but I'll take them back now. Just hand them over, and I'll let you go.
Oh, you must be from Samin, sir. Well, of course you can have everything back. As long as you ask nicely, eh? Well, how about we do things differently? You lay down your weapons, and we can all have a nice little chat. I mean, I don't intend to go murdering local lords. I just want your coin.
That's very noble of you, sir.
What are you gaping at? At them!
You'll be fucking sorry!
Take that fucking ass, Daddy! Yeah! Fuck! Now you're four-eyed shit.
Come on then! Bleeding, fucker! Get ready to leave this life! I'll beat you to a bloody pulp, fucker! Now you'll die! You're no match for us, fucker!
Too slow!
Fuck you! He was finished before he started.
There.
They got what they deserved, the fuckers. Henry! Hey, Henry! Are you listening? Come here!
I'm a nobleman. You have
now?
to spare me.
One of them bastards fled into the rocks. Chase him down and bring him back.
Did you see which way he went?
Fallen on hard times.
No, I had other things on my
Why
hands.
I do what I
Besides, you're the one who's supposed to keep watch.
So, tell me why I shouldn't hang you from...
I'll go and track him then.
Great. Hurry.
I'm still...
I've got you now, Venser. You've nowhere to run to. Yield.
Well, why the fuck would I? It's just you against me. Besides, if I do yield, it's the rope for me anyway.
Who knows what they'll do to you? You might just get a whipping.
For robbing Semine, that old miser. He'll have me strung up from the nearest tree. I'd be better off jumping off the cliff.
Hey, I saw you cozying up with Gules. Seems to me he trusts you pretty much.
What? He wanted to skin me alive.
But he didn't.
What's that got to do with anything, anyway?
Well, I'd say you have a way with the nobles. People trust you. You just say it was the rashness of youth. Pour ashes on your head, and they'll be lenient. You'll tell Lord Semine it was a youthful folly, eat crow, and that'll be that.
Convince his lordship? I'm not sure.
Well, either you give it a try, or we fight it out, or you jump.
Although, Ma always said I could talk my way out of anything. For sure. I'm better at it than fighting with strangers or diving headfirst off a cliff. All right. But only if you'll put in a good word for me. You'll tell them that I gave him up right away, and I don't know, well, the face of the Virgin Mary appeared in the clouds?
You got it. But I'll try and think up something better than the Virgin Mary.
All right. Let's go.
I've got a prisoner for you, sir.
Excellent. It all worked out quite well in the end. Gnarly will take care of this scum.
What about Gules?
He caught a few good hits, but he's alive. We'll take him with us. I need to have a strong word with him. You did a good job, youngster. You've got heart. And so you don't say I had you clambering over these rocks for nothing. Here's something for you.
Thank you, sir.
Don't thank me, you deserved it. And now, let's get that accursed cart back to Semine. Want to ride? We'll go via Troskovitz. We can drop you off there, and you won't have far to Tarkov. You ought to report back to Radovan as soon as possible about what happened with these hands.
Could you wait a while? I'd better just check that I haven't lost anything while running around here.
All right, but make it quick. I was happy to get out of Semine for a while, but now I'm looking forward to being back at my own fireside.
Please, let me go. I just want to go home.
So, job done. The cart was found and driven to Lord Semine's courtyard.
Whew. That's a relief. And what happened to that pair of idiots?
It turned out they tried to rob you.
Oh. They did they?
Aye. They plotted with some robber baron called Gules and brought the cart to him.
The bastards. I should have realized they were a bit too keen on work. And how did you get the cart back?
Well, I went to Semine, and they were wondering there too where the wagon got to. So we rode out to look for it. Me, Lord Semine, and his captain, Gnarly.
Well, God's nails. And the three of you tracked them down. The whole band.
That's right. They were hiding in Apollonia, along with the carts and the goods.
Indeed. Where else? The bastards. And what about my hands?
I'm not sure. Lord Semine took them and Gules to his courtyard. We'll see how he deals with them.
I'd know what to do with them.
Yeah, don't worry. I don't think Lord Semine will let them off lightly.
Anyway, the main thing is the cart turned up. I'd be in a right mess if it didn't.
No doubt.
And you've earned a reward for your trouble. I've got just the thing for you. Some mercenary once had his cuirass repaired here, but never came back for it. Who knows what happened to him? So now it's yours. It's been through a bit, but it'll still serve for a while.
Thanks. It'll come in handy. And have you got another job for me?
Young Lord Semine's wedding is coming up, and it's got my head spinning. Look, you must have seen Agnes, the bailiff's daughter, when you were in Troskovitz. What do you think of her?
Well, young Semine is marrying her, isn't he? Why would I have my eye on her?
Don't pretend. A statue of a saint would have his eye on her. Looks ain't everything, though. She's got such a sharp tongue on her. I almost feel sorry for young Semine. And how about you, lad? Have you got some lass waiting in Sasau?
Yeah. And I hope she'll wait. Her name's Teresa. Her uncle owns a mill on the river in Rattay.
A girl from the mill? You want to watch out for them types. You might get caught up in devilry, lad. A wedding's a serious business. You're not just getting a bride, but a whole family. So you have to show them you're a man who's worth it. All the more so when you're noble-born. Old Semin wants a special sword forged for his son's wedding present.
Excellent. So what are we waiting for? Should we get to work?
Hold your horses. It can't be any old steel. This has to be a first-class job.
A blade of first-class steel?
That's right. And that's just the problem.
Ah, I see. We don't have any welded steel for that kind of sword, do we?
God, and you're right. We don't have the steel for a strong sword that won't break.
I'd like to know where you're going to get your hands on some welded steel.
Relax, lad. I've got it all figured out, as it happens. There's this old hermit called Ambrose, living in Apollonia.
And he can pray for us?
God's nails, let me finish talking. The word is, he was fighting heathens years ago in faraway Andalusia, and folks say they saw this interesting broken sword in his hut. From the description, it seems our peculiar hermit has a real Toledo blade.
Welded Spanish steel? There's nothing better for a sword.
See now? You do understand. But there's a catch.
Naturally.
They say that Ambrose the Hermit has changed a lot recently. People from far and wide used to go to him for remedies and blessings. But now he won't see no one. I even heard he made a pact with the devil. And there have been other strange goings-on.
What strange goings-on?
I heard something in the tavern about some apparition. But that's all I know.
With the devil? Why would the hermit make a pact with the devil?
No idea. It might just be old wives' tales.
Where can I find the hermit?
Do I look like someone who goes to a hermit for advice? I know he has a hut somewhere in Apollonia. But you'll have to ask the Truscovitz womenfolk if you want to know more.
Right. I'll try to find out more about the hermit's sword. But in return, you'll get me invited to Semin's wedding.
If it means so much to you, why not? Come and see Betty from the Truscovitz Tavern. She knows all the gossip. She'll definitely tell you more about the hermit. But Henry, if there's any truth in that pact with the devil, don't get caught up in it. The best sword in the world isn't worth eternal damnation.
Good day.
Good day.
Where are those cumans?
What? You have the nerve to walk in here and ask like you're stupid. You left me in the shit. If you'd sorted it out, there wouldn't have been any trouble.
Trouble? What exactly happened here?
A brawl, and a big one. Them cumans left in a hurry after that.
Who started it?
Does it matter? I didn't see much anyway. Better ask Wojtek.
I need some advice.
You want some advice? Here's some for free. I catch you fighting here again, and I'll spank your bare ass like a brat.
I said I'm sorry.
But the cumans are still stinking up the place. Down to business. I don't have all day for you. So what do you want?
I promised Radovan the blacksmith I'd go and see Ambrose the hermit in Apollonia.
My God, lad, stay away from them rocks. Ambrose the hermit sold his soul to the devil and won't talk to nobody no more.
Yeah, I heard that as well. But it seems a bit far-fetched.
So why would an evil spirit suddenly start appearing near Apollonia? It's the devil's work, believe you me.
And has anyone sent to the castle for the priest?
Not at all. Bailiff Thrush is keeping it quiet so far. 4 strangers came here yesterday. They sat in the corner there, but once they heard about the apparition, they started to take a big interest.
What strangers?
They looked like monks, only they had daggers concealed under their robes. I saw them clearly. I'm telling you, there's something fishy going on around Ambrose.
And what can I get for you?
But I have to speak to him.
Didn't you hear what I said? He doesn't speak to nobody. He hides away in his hut and sends everyone away. I'd think long and hard before doing anything if I was you, because this reeks of hell.
I'm looking for Pavlena, the daughter of the herbwoman from Zhelyov. Do you know her?
Aye, I do. Pavlena still comes here from time to time, selling baskets, ointments and whatnot. I ain't seen her around in a while, though. Why are you looking for her?
She hasn't been home for a long time, so Bozhena sent me to look for her. When she left, she was heading here.
If I was you, I'd go and ask at the rat house. Or Yezhek the cooper. That old goat had his eye on her one time. Only she wouldn't have him if he was the last man alive. Can't say I blame her. That Yezhek's a drunken sot.
What's this Yezhek like?
He wanted to get married, and no sensible girl around here would have a drunkard like him, so he figured Pavlena might be an easier bet. He promised her a home in the village, but the girl wasn't so dumb as to fall for it. He's hardly got 2 groschen to rub together, and his house ain't no palace neither. All she'd have out of it is a heartache, and a bunch of brats as pig ugly as their old man.
And where might I find this Yezhek?
If he ain't boozing here at the tavern, he'll be on the way here or at home.
Thanks. And do you think this Yezhek might have done something to her? Like abduct her because she scorned him?
Nah, he ain't got it in him. And even if he did, just recently he got a black eye from this skinny fella here. He's a weakling and a wretch.
Do you think anyone would want to harm Pavlena?
Bozhena's not too popular here since that misfortune with Yakesh's wife, Ludmilla. But no one holds a grudge against Pavlena. She was only a young lass at the time.
What was that about a misfortune with Ludmilla?
That was way back. She was the midwife here. She'd give the women herbs and whatnot when they called for her. But then something happened when she was helping out at Yakesh's. His wife, Ludmilla, died, and a child was stillborn. A tragedy it was, and then Bozhena, she left.
Just like that?
Well, to tell the truth, we drove her out.
Oh? Why was that?
Better ask Yakesh if you want to know more. He's often by his son's grave. It's next to the farm.
I'd like to ask you...
Go.
How do I get to the hermit?
You're asking for trouble, lad. You go through Apollonia, along the path, below the rocks, till you reach the point where it crosses the stream. And from there, you take the path uphill, to the left, leading into the rocks.
What do you know about this apparition?
Stanislav, the herds boy. And the very next night, it appeared in the rocks below the road to Tahov. There's this conciliatory stone cross there. And the next day, it was at a funny angle. There's some devilry in it for sure.
And it was the herds boy who saw it by the cross?
The apothecary's wife, Gerda. Ask her yourself. She's not been herself ever since, poor woman.
Where can I find the herds boy?
Stanislav has a sheep pen in the meadow beyond the Troskovitz graveyard, right above the big crossroads outside Apollonia.
Who's this hermit fella, anyway?
No one knows. He settled in the rocks a few years back. Folk used to go to him for various healing ointments or advice.
And what has he got to do with this apparition?
Well, he was at death's door recently, bedridden, and then suddenly he's got his health back. Just like that. And he's like a different man since then. He sends everyone who goes to see him packing. Mark my words. He sold his soul to the devil to get better. And the devil sometimes comes here on the prowl for unwary souls.
Where did these peculiar monks come from?
Hard to say, but they rode in on well-fed horses.
Monks on horseback? That's definitely odd.
Well, Bashka the butcher says they came from the bishop about that diabolical apparition. In short, the Inquisition.
God be with you, hermit.
I don't have time for you. Go away.
Folk in the village are saying you've made a miraculous recovery. And since then, you won't let anyone near you. What happened?
Nothing happened. I just can't stand all these people coming here and disturbing me. Can't I have a moment's peace?
I came about that sword of yours. I'd like to buy it from you.
I'll keep my sword, thanks very much. It's a fine piece.
Right. Long since broken and unused. I wouldn't hum and haw too long if I were you. Radovan the blacksmith will give you a good price for it.
Oh, right. You mean that sword? I don't have it anymore.
Pity about your sword. It was made from good steel, from what I heard. Folk told me you got it from somewhere in Andalusia?
God knows where it's from.
Well, I'm a blacksmith. I know the value of good steel, wherever it's from. Pity you got rid of it.
Oh, God. If I give you that piece of old junk, will you leave me alone?
I can promise you that. What are you asking for it?
Nothing. Just a small service. Listen carefully, then. There's an old widow called Margaret living in the village. Take this cross to her, and say to her exactly these words. Margaret, Ambrose forgives you, but his brother must get what is rightfully his.
Margaret, Ambrose forgives you, but his brother must get what is rightfully his.
That's right.
I hope she'll know what this is about.
Don't worry, she will. Give her the cross, and I'll tell you where you can find the sword. Benedictio Domini sit tecum.
Good day. What would you like?
This might seem strange, but I'm supposed to give you this.
A cross? Mother of God. What is the meaning of this?
Margaret, Ambrose forgives you, but his brother must get what he deserves.
Ambrose? The hermit?
It was his wish that I give you the cross and the message. He said you'd know what it's about.
Oh my God! By all that's holy, it couldn't possibly be him. All those years, I'd lost hope. I never forgave myself. I committed a mortal sin.
Well, I don't know what you did. But this is supposed to be your absolution.
No, there's no absolution. Not yet. You said it yourself. Not until Ambrose's brother gets what he deserves. The bones. They still lie there outside the wall. Help me. His soul must find peace.
All right. I'll help you. But you'll have to tell me more.
Thank you, lad, thank you. But not here. We must go to the graveyard. That's where my curse lies.
Oh, we'll meet at the graveyard then.
Oh, or I'll shoot.
Wait! Hermit, what are you doing?
Don't move a muscle, I mean it.
I don't know what's going on here. I just want to talk with you in peace.
I understand, but there's no time for talk now.
What's going on here?
I don't want to kill you. Go away.
I can help you. Let's talk.
All right. But make it quick. And no sudden movements. Agnosco fortunam Carthaginus.
What's going on?
You tell me. Or do you take me for a complete fool?
And what is it you want to hear from me?
You're not Ambrose the Hermit, are you?
No. Ambrose was my friend, but now he's dead, and my life is in danger.
Where can I find that broken sword?
It's not far. At the edge of the meadow up there are 2 entangled birch trees. There's a grave beneath them, and the sword is on the grave.
Why did you come to the Hermit?
Ambrose was the only one who could stand up to our Grand Master's Denyek and put an end to his crimes. He was the seneschal of our order. Now it's all over. and I will remain an outcast till I die.
That's all I need to know.
There's no time to go into it. Sorry, young man. You got mixed up in a game of high stakes, and there's no way back.
Well, in that case, we'll play that game out together. Just let them come.
Thank you, friend. Benedictio Domini sit tecum.
Arnold! Do you hear me? The Inquisition tricked you!
What do you want?
Christ! I'm hit! Got you, you swine!
You won't get me! I can still take you!
I'm bleeding!
You got him!
Damn it! What was that all about?
I think I owe you an explanation.
Yeah, you're right. Let's hear it then.
And what is it you want to hear from me?
Why were they trying to kill you?
I had proof that our Grand Master Zdeněk had betrayed the Order and was conspiring with the Prague chapter. But it was turned against me. Damned Inquisition. First they chased out Ambrose, and now me.
You're not Ambrose the Hermit, are you?
No. Ambrose was my friend. But now he's dead.
That's all I need to know.
And that's an end to it. This is in return for your silence.
Thank you. I won't say a word. Don't worry.
Farewell, friend. Go with God. Benedictio Domini sit tecum. Stop fooling around.
The Hermit's grave. It ought to be somewhere around here. There's nothing more here. Sorry, Ambrose. Rest in peace. Now that's what I call steel. It may be broken, but there's hardly a trace of rust.
Greetings.
So I'm back, Master Blacksmith.
Excellent. How did it go with the Hermit?
He's dead.
What? Did you?
No, not me. It just got a bit complicated. The Hermit died a few days ago. I had to find his grave, and this sword was on it. You weren't wrong. It's first-class Toledo steel, Radovan.
God's nails. That's quite something.
First-class welded steel. Ambrose must have broken the sword himself, deliberately. It wouldn't have just happened in battle.
That's exactly what we need. See now, youngster. My clever plan worked out nicely in the end.
Right. Well, thank you very much for your, clever plan.
You haven't disappointed me yet, lad. So I'm sure forging an exceptional sword won't be a problem for you either.
Wait, I thought you wanted to do it yourself. I'm just your assistant, after all.
Not at all. I trust you. What do you want here? Why'd you barge in here? What are you here for, friend?
I've got something for you, blacksmith.
God's nails, you weren't bullshitting.
I'd say it looks pretty much like a sword, eh?
Looks like. This is a damned fine piece of steel. Damned fine.
Thanks. I was glad to help, but now there's something I need from you.
I'll pay you, of course. And if you want to do some smithing, I won't throw you out of my forge either.
No, you know full well what I need. I have to get to Samin's wedding.
Why is it so important for you? It'll just be a lot of people stuffing their faces. You can find that anywhere.
I have my reasons, and you don't need to know them.
God's nails, lad. You're full of mysteries. But whatever, that's your business. I don't mind taking you to the wedding. Nothing to it. We can set off once you're ready.
I'd like a set of clothes for the wedding.
You've come to the right place. I'm sure you'll find something you like. And when you change into it, I'll tell you right away if it's appropriate for the wedding. I know what I'm talking about. I'm invited too. I sewed clothes for the groom.
What do you think? Can I wear this to the wedding?
No, absolutely not. You can't go to the wedding like that. Pick something better.
I've heard you dye your own fabric.
I used to. Why'd you ask?
I'd like to buy some pigment.
I see.
All right, here's the money.
And here's the paint. But is that all, or is there anything else I can do for you?
Show me your wares.
Count.
What about this? Do I look like a proper wedding guest now?
Magnificent. I couldn't have picked a better outfit myself. I think you're ready to dazzle them all.
Can we go to Samin now?
Wasn't too hard, was it? You're looking quite spruce, in fact. I don't have to worry about you showing me up anymore.
Good to hear. Shall we go?
Hold your horses for a while, Henry. I need to wash and change too, and then we can go.
Welcome, blacksmith. We were beginning to worry.
I bet you were. I'm bringing a wedding present.
Look who's finally here. Welcome, Radovan. And Henry.
Sir?
Well, do you have it?
Of course. Your son deserves the best. You can take it.
No, hold on to it. I'd be glad if you gave it to Alder yourself.
I'd be honored.
Has Lord von Burgov arrived yet?
Henry, that's none of your business.
It's all right, Radovan. I understand his curiosity.